So yesterday, or no, not yesterday, 2 days ago, I kind of talked about um, if I should be paying for a subscription for an AI tool. And I actually have been testing this AI tool, or to be exact, Claude. I am testing that, and I'm really thinking about paying for a subscription for that because I noticed that it is really helpful. But this is not about the AI tool per se, but rather I'm currently actually testing that tool by making my own financial tool, because I did notice that lately my financial situation, not necessarily only because I am because the economy, or being a freelance film editor, didn't yield or doesn't yield as much money as I would like due to the economy. Also, I'm still having this legal battle with one of the clients that has still yet to pay me. He or that client hasn't paid me now for over 1.5 years, which obviously made a huge dent into my savings. And just to lay it out really easily, I try, as a freelancer, you try to have savings that if there are months where you don't work, you can cover those months. And usually I try to be able to cover 2 to 3 months. But that saving has pretty much been heavily affected because this one client didn't pay, and then obviously economy isn't great. But also I do notice, like everyone else, everything, at least here in Germany, has become so expensive. I mean, we have 2 wars going on in Europe, basically, and yeah, as I said, economy isn't great, inflation, stuff like that. So every time I go grocery shopping, I pretty much pay double what I used to pay for whatever I needed to buy. So whilst making this little tool within the AI service that I'm kind of making to have a better view of my finances, because at the moment I use a spreadsheet, which is fine, and it tracks perfectly my income and then my savings that I want to have for keeping me afloat in months where there isn't much work, but also track, okay, how much money is still coming in, because I send out an invoice and obviously clients don't pay right away, and then I can kind of see in the future, okay, this money's coming in, but also this is the current state of my savings and how many months can I kind of survive with that type of savings. And while making that, I realized, okay, maybe I should expand that a little bit also to track my expenses, which I already do for, don't get me wrong, I already do for stuff like subscriptions, my gas bill, electricity bill, and stuff like that. I track all of that, but it's all in this spreadsheet, and it's not that easily to look through, because it's, as I said, I hate Excel. I hate spreadsheets. It's great to kind of do small stuff, but I feel like as soon as it gets big, becomes so unwieldy in terms of seeing what you need at a quick glance. I have so much respect for those people who can work with Excel and then create these beautiful charts and stuff like that. I cannot do that. I'm not, I've never learned that. Everything that I'm doing in Excel, I basically, Googled, but I don't know how to do a pie chart or stuff like that. So I needed this little tool. I not needed, but because I'm still working on it, I need a tool that helps me. And yes, there are probably apps out there that already can do that, but not in a way, because this spreadsheet evolved over many years of being a freelancer, and I have to acknowledge it's so complicated, and it's very specific for how I look at my finances. Therefore, I needed to kind of make it myself. And AI is amazing for that. So my thought process was like, okay, maybe I should also include an expense tracker, especially when it comes down to grocery shopping, because I tend to grocery shop and be, let's say how it is. I'm lazy to kind of put that number into the spreadsheet. So I haven't been tracking that at all, but I definitely should track all of these small little expenses to kind of get a better grasp of, okay, where could I save? With these monthly fixed sums like subscription, gas bills and stuff like that, it's easier obviously because those are recurring expenses, and I can kind of see, okay, maybe I should stop that or this and that. But I think the biggest issue with finances are those small little expenses that you do during the day, during the week, and keeping a track of that would help me get a better grasp of where my money is going. And that is kind of where I want this little helper tool to get to. Or at least I think about that. And a long story short, I am really trying to get a grasp on expenses and somewhat frugal living. I think the idea of frugal living is great, but I personally think life is very short already, and I don't want to save at too much at things that I enjoy. For example, I like to eat out. I like to go to a restaurant. I like to cook as well, but I'm not that great of a cook, so sometimes it gets boring, and therefore I do like to go out and eat because I feel personally like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't have any, besides Muay Thai and boxing, to which I go in a second, I don't have that many expensive like recurring hobbies. I know people who drink basically every day, like, oh, I need a glass of wine to relax, or people who smoke. That is so much money that they kind of just waste away, that I believe, okay, for me it's okay to sometimes go to a restaurant because A, it tastes good, and B, in most cases it's also good for me. Or let's rephrase it. It's not bad for me, my health, compared to cigarettes, for example. So I'm not willing to kind of save that in that regard, and that's where I kind of believe sometimes these frugal living philosophies kind of cut off too much of an enjoyment of life. And again, yes, I could easily save with stuff like that. Or for example, I like to not drink alcohol, but I like to buy juices, for example. I at the moment I love watermelon juice. It's not watermelon like press, it's kind of like watermelon iced tea. I don't know what the exact term is. It's like, and it's probably not great for me to drink that like daily, but sometimes I just buy a package and drink that, and it adds like €3 or something. And of course I could just buy water, but I feel like some of these things I don't want to cut because I enjoy them, and I feel like they are not bad. Again, if I would drink that every day, 2 liters, that would be bad, obviously. But sometimes spending on that, I feel like it's okay. And with some of these, again, going back to frugal living, with these frugal living philosophies, I feel like they cut on so many things that, yes, you save a lot of money, but it seems to me like you're cutting away so many things that make life a little bit enjoyable. So I'm trying to find a balance. And the first step for me is to kind of analyze where money is going so that I can cut on those things. And I feel like if this one client wouldn't have would have paid me and wouldn't have made such a huge dent into my savings, and the economy wasn't that bad and things weren't so expensive, I probably would not kind of think about this kind of thing. But at the current state, I think it's important that I do so. And before I can save money, I definitely need to analyze the situation. And for that, I think I need to do a 1 month kind of like trial of tracking basically every expense. And I'm still thinking about how I will do this easily. Because, as I always say, lowering the barrier of entry makes it much more efficient that you actually do so. And I need to make this app for me to kind of easily track whatever I'm kind of spending. So yeah, if you have any tips and tricks about how you not only save money, but also track your expenses, let me know. I know I said I don't want to use a different app, but maybe you're using an app. Maybe let me know what you're doing. Or if you're using a spreadsheet as well, also let me know. I think saving money is a good thing to do, but sometimes not as easy as I would like. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what are you doing? And yeah, maybe check out my video where I talked about the subscription up here. YouTube thinks they like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. That way we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.